first misgiving that I entered the preparation with was that I need to know it all and I need to know it at a very microscopic level. Bihar has been holding the potential for India, which India has been holding the potential for the whole world. I think it's the same position. My journey was basically survival, that I need to cover this enough to have a lot of my completing it in first attempt was basically planning it in future. I had one practice of just doing a gratitude journaling, what good happened in the day, and am I progressing in a correct way? Silly mistakes, so something I should not be doing.
You made an Excel out of it?
Not.
What were some of the misgivings that you entered in this preparation with? Hi everyone, Rohit again with another episode of Raw and Real, and today I have with me Kriti. She's an IIT Bombay alumnus. She did a small stint in consulting at IIT Kearney, and then something didn't click right with her, and so she thought of writing UPSC, and she gave just first attempt. I'll tell you the marks which pulled her down, but she's got an IRS IT rank. She scored, I believe, the highest in interview that I've seen, 210, but scored very less below average in essay paper, which she shouldn't have. If she wouldn't gotten 40 more marks, her rank would be 99 or somewhere closer to that. If she would have aced anthro even further, she would have cracked in a double digit under 20 or something, right? And this is the game of hits and misses which keep happening. Like I was telling her, there's another ranker I was speaking with, and she said that, everything went fine, but the interview day, I saw the other candidate coming out of the room and I just started on a wrong note. And I think she got somewhere around 130, 120, I don't remember, which pulled the score down. And then the beauty of this exam is that, even the best candidates can have a bad day on one of those days, and that just pulls the whole score down, sometime even cost a rank. So in this Raw and Real with Kriti, we'll be talking about a few things. People who are coming from stellar colleges, who've gotten stellar jobs, what might be some of those telltale signs which they should catch in early or they should be aware of, wherein a career in bureaucracy can make more sense. And we'll hear it from Kriti and her perspective. And within 1 year, what all things she did, what all strengths she came to the exam with, what all kind of low ball she had, which she would either improve, maybe live with it in the future. We'll talk about that. But Kriti, let me just open up the floor to you. You spent 10 months at IIT Kearney. And like we discussed, I know it's a very romantic idea ki, the impact I was making in a consulting setup wasn't quite, wasn't completing that loop to me. I wasn't getting to see, acha, ye kaam karne se kya ho raha hai, vagera, vagera, and that left you wanting. But tell me, was that all it? Was there no earlier impressions? Were there no other mentors who kind of guided you ki life mein kuch aur karna chahiye? Yeah, was the lure of money wasn't enough in consulting? What were the things that guided you to take UPSC ka choice?
First of all, thank you, Rohit, sir, for having me here. And thank you for the kind introduction. So, taking upon my stint at Kearney. So, as you said that I was working for a manager and then my manager was working for a client. So, that didn't complete the positive feedback loop. So, I couldn't see the value that I was creating at the end. So, that is what pushed me towards civil services. And my father was also in Bihar Financial Services. So, I had a little exposure there that, okay, so this is what happens when you're in civil services. And one other thing was that when I was working at consulting, so consulting companies usually, which are well established, usually they have a lot of content that are already available. And so they just have to reproduce. It's more turned into operations rather than strategy. So that's what I think that bureaucracy is where you can come in with some creative ideas and some strategy of your own to reproduce results, because there's still a lot more to be done. So that is what pulled me further into bureaucracy.
And did you like search or research on public policies and how that works, etc.? Because that's closest to consulting that I've known, right? Did that interest take you to researching a slight bit about public policy?
Right. I was looking at some of the job profiles that even Niti Aayog offers and some kind of research internships. This was actually an exit plan for me if I hadn't been able to make it here. But public policies, basically, I just followed up a few IS officers and how they have been the public administration awards that are given for their phenomenal work. So that is somewhere that I got the idea about how the solutions are being creative and how they're actually reaching out to people. So that is a small exposure that I got towards public policy.
Okay, because at the end, it's if you get to be a servant on the field, it's about solving the problem given the constraints and conditions that you have in front of, rather than ideating in like a back chamber and giving academic solution, right? It's not that, and that's what makes us very exciting. I was speaking with Chandra Prabha, and I think she's also gotten an IRS rank. I think in customs. So she had a vision for India when she started out the preparation, that, and she used to note down all the cases and anecdotes and, have her own way of, acha, main karungi to aisa karungi, vagera, vagera. And when she got the IRS rank, I think she said that, Punjab mein itna sara menace hai with respect to drugs and all that. And I would keep thinking and read a lot about how can that service crack it. So when you thought of ki nahi, consulting chhod ke padhai karni hai, did you give much time to think about, did you have some vision of India or vision for India? Yeah, what impact do you want to have or make?
I think my vision for India is a lot driven by the states that I'm coming from. So basically, what I see Bihar, like I come from Bihar, so I see Bihar has been holding the potential for India, which India has been holding the potential for the whole world. I think it's the same position with a huge demographic dividend, with a huge growth rate. So I feel the vision, like how India has been progressing. I feel that if Bihar and the other states which are fairly lagging behind, they will be able to be the forces behind the 2047 vision that we're having, or the vision of India, that because we need such states to come in forward. And as you said, the drug problems that Chandra Prabha was talking about, I've also seen a lot of problems in Bihar, which requires a lot of social intervention. Like we have been talking about prohibition, or we have been talking about dowry, but it is still a very, very sad reality in the state. So this is something that needs an intervention at the ground level, because like as you said, it's not about the back chamber thing, it is about doing things on the ground. So I feel that these problems is something to be really thought about in the states that are still lagging behind, but they have the power to force the vision of India.
Fair point. Okay. So on this note, let's take a step back and go back to your formative years of growing up in Bihar. I think you did your schooling in Patna.
Yes.
Pura, right? Before you went to IIT, and you came for 1 year in Delhi to prepare for JEE. What are your early impressions of Patna and consequently Bihar? क्या हैं? What do you remember? Things that you feel like कि यार ये नहीं होना चाहिए, but ये हो रहा है. And over time भी कुछ चीजें नहीं ही बदली होंगी. Anything which you feel like telling on that note?
On a negative aspect, if I see that what things have not changed and it should have been changed, is the prevalence of dowry. I have seen people, the prevalence of dowry. I have seen people in my family, in my extended family, who have still been so engrossed, and they kind of justify this practice still a lot. So that is something that has to be broken, and it has found a root in Bihar, which is leading to even more social evils like pakadwa marriage. It is so famous in Bihar. It has its roots in dowry.
It's still there? It's still operational there?
Pakadwa marriage? I think to some extent it is quite regulated right now, but I think dowry is still a huge problem here. So that is something that I feel very strongly about in Bihar. And yes, of course, I moved out of Patna in my early formative years. And when I've come back, I've also seen a lot of improvements here because of the infrastructure, and the urbanization is quite happening in Bihar, and in particularly Patna, so to say. And even when I reach out to different rural areas, I really see the infrastructure is catching up. So, but still Bihar has a lot of road to cover.
I had come to Patna with Saket and Aditya, our last year anchor. I don't know if he told you this or not. And I stayed, I think, somewhere close to Boring Road. I think it was Boring Road. And we went to Patna Women's College, which is somewhere around. It was phenomenal. I mean, the amphitheater they have there, it's like, I think I was told it's the best in the academia, crossing IITs, cross IIMs, cross everyone. It's the best. And we kind of addressed the students there, and the kind of questions they were asking were at par with anyone else in India at that day and age who was talking. But at the same time, I was crossing the road and I saw a rally, and I almost saw someone getting killed, and I was talking to Saket ki abhi wo mar jayega or something, and then the auto wala kept driving on. So I was seeing two extreme polarities, or two extreme opposites here. And I also
we drive roundly here. That is true. Very true observation.
Cool. Okay, so now, so no early impressions about कि यार बाबू बनने का है because parents want. ऐसा कुछ नहीं था. There was nothing like that in the family.
I don't think so. No, ऐसा बाबू बनने वाला. That's what I feel कि मुझे लगता है कि there's a lot of deification that is happening on the bureaucrats. We certainly try to elevate them to a pedestal and we're like, oh my God, they have cracked it so much. And that is something mentality that I do not believe in.
Okay.
They are people like us. They would have cracked. Like on 15th April, I was not a normal person. On 16th April, I would not change. I'm still that same person. So that babu culture is something that did not attract me a lot.
Okay. Oh, got it. So nothing from parents. Parents were like completely cool कि आप जो करना है
Yeah.
करो, and so
Uh-huh.
you went for Carney, and then when you said कि I'll step out for UPSC, they were like completely cool with it. Try it out, as you meant. And do
Yes,
you have any
yes.
siblings?
I do. He's working in Amazon in Seattle. So he's
Okay.
8 years elder to me, brother.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so now coming to the prep time, right? You prepped in Delhi.
Hmm.
And what all things came naturally easy to you? Like what were, okay, let me put this question better. What were some of the misgivings that you entered in this preparation with which you kind of clarified for yourself during the time of your preparation? Some of the misinformation, some of the, I would say, nonsense which is going on in terms of advice, which people should be aware of as they prepare for civils.
I think the first misgiving that I entered the preparation with was that I need to know it all and I need to know it at a very microscopic level. But throughout the journey, I felt that I need to have a fair idea about things that are happening. Like even in prelims, I feel that the options, the solutions, they are very on a macroscopic area. So even if you generate a general awareness about the country and about the subjects, I feel that we need not be very specific and very specialized in the subjects. We need to have a general idea to just float through. I think my journey was basically survival, that I need to cover this enough to have my subjects cleared or my cutoff cleared. So that was one misgiving that I found that I cleared. And I think some of the nitty-gritties was like you need to prepare notes of the newspaper. So I felt that we could switch to more strategic options like magazines and other that. No, you need to choose your battles. So those are some of the learnings, small learnings that I entered, and then I saw that okay, it's different.
Okay, and so while you take these learnings and while you make them your own, how do you track your improvement on a day-to-day or a week-to-week basis? Or do you not? Do you just first study for longer and then बाद में कभी mocks लगा लेंगे? Like what was your modus operandi of preparation?
So I think the consultant in me has not left me because I still do huge planning on my Excel sheets. I think that a lot of it, a lot of my completing it in first attempt was basically planning it in future. I used to have every month plan by when am I going to do my optional, my GS, how many mock tests I'm going to solve. Everything was planned with every Excel sheet, and I used to track them. That was one way of tracking. And I also used to have a small journal where I used to just draw a calendar and just read. I put in 10 hours today. That was a little generic type of tracking that, okay, I went for a run today. That was fine. I did not spend as much time on social media. So that was on a calendar thing. So, but yes, I don't think without tracking, I could have, I just go crazy if I do not have a plan in my head.
Okay, I would love you to show those Excels to us and share them with us. We'll put a snapshot of them on that. So, but is this how you planned your timetable or like broad contours? Yeah, you even planned your day to the micro level?
To quite a micro level. Like yes, initially when I was just doing my classes, I used to have a fair idea about the month wise. That these months these subjects should be done. And then as soon as the classes concluded, I had to have a day wise, a week wise basically plan. So that on this day, my quality should be completed this way. So that I can understand how many iterations I will be able to complete, how many pages I am covering per hour, so that I need these many days to cover, so that I can have an headspace that, okay, I can do spectrum maybe these many times or Lakshmikant maybe these many times. So if that is in my head, then I just need to do it every day. I don't need to think, am I doing enough or am I doing less? It's all written out. So I'll be happy to share my Excel sheet.
Yeah. And this you did alone, like you had no peer group, so as to say, to study with. You were self-studying all this while.
I have a friend who we were preparing together, but I do not have a peer group because I was like, I did not want, I just wanted a focused study plan, and I tend to work alone only. So I thought it will just distract me a lot. So I
Okay.
kept one friend to discuss with. That's it.
Okay. So I'm asking this because we have a mentorship, an year-long mentorship program, which is called UAP, which AIR2 last year participated in. And we do something similar. We plan out the week for the students, and then every week there's a mentor call, and then they assess ki kidhar ho, kidhar nahi, kya hai. So I just wanted to compare, and this year we're trying to tighten up every news in that plan, and not just from academic perspective, but also from the non-academic perspective, because motivations, high and low, and then external influences, they're a part and parcel of the UPSC journey. You can't do away with them, but you need to have the right interventions and frameworks to get back on the journey. So what were some of the things that you did non-academically to begin with? And did you feel the highs and lows of preparation? या time ही नहीं मिला उसका ऐसा कुछ? You had the superhuman consulting headspace working on through and through, but what did you bleed in this preparation, so as to say?
Yeah. There was no stagnant performance. It was like highs and lows did happen, and I think the most burning period for me was between prelims and mains, because it was just entering into a new area, and whatever we say, however we try to integrate our mains preparation before prelims, I think the main thrust is between prelims and mains, and those 3 months were pretty tough, and I was bogged down by dengue in the last week, just before essay. So I was really, I was skeptical if I'll be able to even write the mains exam, but somehow I wrote it. So that was, I think, one of my the most burning period, so to say. And in order to keep my highs and lows in balance, I think discipline was the key to me. Like I think motivation is a little too much romanticized. Motivation would help you get started, but it's a long journey, so you need to have some kind of discipline. So that's what I used to strategize. And if I do my 1 day of work that I have planned, it will just put in enough feedback into me, a positive feedback into me, that I'm doing right. I just have to start the next day. So that satisfaction mechanism, I think, helped me go through and through and through and through. And even if I'm failing, I have a track. Okay, so if I'm failing 1 day in 7 days, I think it's fine. So I used to take a break 1 day in a week to just cool my engine and then recoup and then start again. So
okay, so you had dengue a week before the mains?
Yes.
And you got back on your feet like what, a day ago, or like
on Tuesday, like Friday we start on with essay, right?
Achha,
And
Tuesday
on
only
the
you got
Tuesday,
better.
Tuesday my fever had gone.
Okay. And must have been debilitating, right? Must have been like
Right.
couldn't have been able to do anything. दिमाग ही घूम रहा था उसमें.
Because a lot of body weakness is along with dengue, so I need to write 3 hours. It gets a little difficult. So
Yes.
that was
Was that the reason why the essay took a toll?
I think maybe because essay I was still not in my zone. By GS1 I was getting into my zone, so maybe I hope essay was an output of dengue. So that's what I have to do. I have to protect myself from dengue right now.
Me, I think बार हो जाता है तो वो इतनी जल्दी नहीं आएगा. So GS combined was 403 for you, which is good. I mean, 400 plus is what's expected. And Anthro was around 263 for you.
Right.
It was only essay, I'm assuming, which kind of played the spoil sport, and few marks here and there, and you would have gotten the the best test rank possible. Okay, so I think not much highs and lows then, mostly dengue and thoda bahut jo regular life mein aata hai. But then you had a system in place which is banking on the discipline, and it's giving the right amount of dopamine on daily level ki theek hai kar liya. So I think you had those kind of loops to feel ki kuch ho raha hai. And how
Like
did journaling, how does journaling help in this whole journey?
So I had one practice of just doing a gratitude journaling, what good happened in the day. And since we are in this preparation mode, not much happens every day, but it's still good to appreciate whatever happened in a day. So that is something I did. And the second thing was, as I said, that I used to track myself. How many hours did I put in? Did I over binge on social media? Or did I go for a run? Or those healthy activities which used to keep me motivated. Oh, I'm doing good. If I look at it in a calendar on my journaling page.
और ये पहले से ही तुम ऐसे थे या ये यूपीएससी में ही स्टार्ट किया, लाइक पहले से एकदम डे का ट्रैक ऐसा था या यूपीएससी में किसने बोला कि?
No, I think I used to do this in semester exchange. So I had when I went to Toronto, I was I had gone with the mindset that I'll utilize every day of my semester there. So I used to keep a journal there and then keep a headspace where I had to see ki, acha, what is my month looking like and what have I planned, because I just had 4 months. So that is what I picked up there, and it also helped in Kani because I had to prioritize my task for the day every day. So I think journaling, just having a plan, gives me a lot of sanity. It keeps me calm.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, consulting must have been like very hectic, right? Consulting are usually unstructured problem solving. So even though you do derive from past knowledge, but just to, go through the vast amount of data and through the vast amount of network, and then do things very precisely and meticulously so as to give us spick and span, update. It takes its own time and toll. Okay, so what were the strengths that you came with in the UPSC preparation? I get articulation must have been one of the better ones, and consulting में हो तो लिखने की practice at least on laptop तो होगी ही. But what were the other key strengths that you came in with the preparation?
I think my schedule in JEE, like when we were preparing for JEE, there was a discipline where we used to understand that we have to work 10 hours and 12 hours a day. And that is a key takeaway that I put in here, which normalized my days, because it's very difficult to get into to escape the inertia and get into the studying mode again after college. So that is that long sitting and working for long hours was very comfortable to me. That is one strength that I can say. And second is I enjoyed these subjects a lot because I might be an engineer, but I used to enjoy my studies, be it maths or be it history. I like to enjoy studying a lot. So maybe I'm academically bent. So that is why I used to love spending time with my books. So that did not take a toll on me that I am alone, or it's my choice. I have left a job. It's my choice. I'm happy to be here. So that put me in a good mindset.
Okay, awesome. And did it ever take you to places which are like rabbit holes of research? Like if you enjoy studying and if you read even one news article, it'll spring up questions which if you chase those questions, you'll go into rabbit holes. Did that ever happen?
Not really, because I was quite tempted with it. But because you see, it was my first attempt. I had my day planned. I have my hours planned. So that is why I used to cut myself short. And it was quite a temptation, but that's what my daily discipline is, something that keeps me from going astray.
That's interesting. That's a very high order discipline, especially for a curious mind, which will find avenues to go and deeply search into things. Okay. How did you have this kind of a willpower? I mean, is this JEE days? I'm sure because IIT में थोड़ा तो चिल मारा ही होगा.
बहुत चिल मारा है.
चिल मारा होगा. तो वो आदत तो छूट गई होगी. How do you get one? Because UPSC की beauty is just कि you get to know so much about India which you otherwise are not privy to. Right? I mean, I don't think after 9th 10th maybe social studies को इतना ध्यान और तब भी कितना ही दिया होता है in true meaning of the way we know it now. I mean, आप Indian agriculture पढ़ोगे and then there's so many luminaries and awesome people who've done enough stuff and they've like devoted whole life to it. Like I was reading about someone from Pune, Sharad Joshi, who had started something called Shetkari Sangathan, which is like a Sangathan of farmers. But he was a bureaucrat once. In his 40s, he left all that stuff and came back and became a farmer. Then he worked in the ground, and then he started this thing. And there's a very interesting case about him and BT cotton when it was introduced. And he got so powerful and popular that he had 2 lakh people following him for a satyagraha in 1997 or something when Vajpayee Sarkar was there around, which is not a small feat. He also got elected to Rajya Sabha. So just learning about Indian agriculture from his perspective is mind-boggling. Similarly, I don't know, I think it was Aruna Roy, जो नर्मदा बचाओ आंदोलन से related है, and her husband, who's called, I think, Bankar Roy. Bankar is not his real name, but given a name, Bunker, शायद I think वो जो IIT वाईटी में लग जाता है ना एक nickname which stays with you. And she left IAS in 8 years, within 8 years of joining the services, and she started a small organization, not a small, but like an organization in Rajasthan in a place called Tilonia, which I didn't know existed, Barefoot Foundation करके, जहाँ पे एक ही फंडा था कि अगर यहाँ पे काम करने आना है साथ में तो अपनी डिग्री जला के आओ. Don't tell me you're an IITian or you're this or that. यहाँ पे आओ, काम करो, ground knowledge समझो, because these women are changing lives. So that husband was IFS, this was an IAS, and they left and they started this. So, UPSC preparation, and if you get a chance to go beyond books for a while, It's the only time when you get to know so much about India that you were just
Right.
bogged. और उस time पे if you're able to prune the digressions for obvious reasons, वरना exam ही नहीं निकलेगा. It's like a rare thing. I mean, it's not easy. तो ये willpower वाला फंडा was a natural thing in you. Yeah, you did something. Yeah, you have some good rituals or practices daily, which kind of gets this back on track again and again.
I think I've picked this up from my mother because she has an absolute great work ethics. And seeing her working very hard and being very true to her job, I felt that work ethics was something that it got ingrained in me. Like you have to be on point and you have to work day and night, and just you do not have to worry about if it's going to add up into a whole new picture. You just have to do your everyday. So that is something, maybe a part of socialization and an upbringing that I was subjected to. And then J, which was a good training for me, and then here. I think, yeah, basically this was it.
Okay, beautiful. I mean, because it's kind of important. And I was speaking with Animesh and I asked him ki, how could you just write Samachar Manthan? Like we have this weekly current affairs test week over week for 50 weeks straight. You're an engineer, for God's sake. You're,
Yes.
betraying your com, if I would say so. And he was like कि मुझे वो नंबर से एक हाई मिलता है, like if I'm doing the right thing,
Yeah.
complete thing, so कहता है मुझे वो numbers या वो hitting the right note, I get a high, and week on week it's a good thing, as a good reminder.
Right.
So,
Because as engineers we tend to do everything in the last moment.
yeah.
पहले तो कोई पढ़ना नहीं है.
Yeah.
So yeah. Point of betrayal.
Okay, so few more interesting questions. So what were some of the interesting quirks of yours? I know journaling, you mentioned one of the things, but some of interesting, very personal habits of yours which kept you in good stead in the preparation, yeah, which helped you ace some of these themes in UPSC. What were some of those interesting quirks? I would give example. कुछ लोग post-it notes बना के लगाते रहते हैं, like they self-talk and then they write ये सवाल क्यों गलत हुआ क्योंकि ये यहाँ पे ऐसे सोचा था. They write their internal thoughts, what were going on. There's a ranker called named Ishani, and she had post-it notes का पूरा जत्था for her. Never she showed it to me, right? Were there interesting quirks with you? I mean, the way you study, the way you remember.
If I have to drawing from the analogy that you said, I also used to analyze my specifically my prelims or any mock test that I used to do a very depth. Like pehle to I used to analyze what was going. Like I used to categorize each of my mistakes. Was it a silly mistake? Is it something that I forget, or is it something a conceptual clarity? So it was a full dissection of my analysis, and I used to keep a track ki constant bucket mein I'm doing most of the mistakes, so that I can see a graph ki, am I progressing in a correct way? Ki silly mistakes so something I should not be doing. So am I learning from it?
You made an Excel out of it?
Not. I used to just put it in a table. Yeah, you can call it an Excel. But
did you use the consulting? That's what consultants do, pivot tables and whatnot.
Yes, I told you the consultant in me has not left me yet. So that is something I used to do. I used to dissect it a lot in prelims specifically.
Cool. Okay, so I have an idea. We'll do an academic webinar with you. Raw and Real talk is just not about academics, but we'll like to see UPSC from a consultant's perspective, right? Okay.
Okay.
Not just how you planned your day and not just how you assessed your PY or whatever mocks and stuff attempt. And but them also, we would love to see the graphs and how you trailed your, I don't know, man. It sounds so crazy. But also, how did you make notes with your content and like short notes and whatnot? Did you use digital stuff on there as well? Yeah, analog.
For interview, I used to do a lot of it on digital because it was very dynamic. But for my core notes, it was basically on written notes only. And I used to just compile all my books also. If I read something in my class, then I go back and read that into my subject, and then I bring jo bhi book mein lag pada, I put it into my notes so that everything is compiled together. And that is what. And then in the end, I made some Excel sheets so that like to map reports with bodies or maybe the endangered species with their endangered status.
You have them right now. You have them right now.
I do.
Can you share this?
Right now?
Yeah, please.
Just wait a second.
I'll show you what we are also doing something similar. So, this year whatever comes handy, I mean.
Yeah. I'm just looking at. One second. Is it this screen only?
Yeah, Mission 2024, I can see.
Yeah, this
Okay.
is the quick look that I made in the end for the person and the work in modern history. Then for
Okay.
schemes, if it's central sector, central sponsor, then the
Okay.
index with the bodies.
Okay.
And if we look at my work, like how I used to plan.
Oh, this is.
Yeah, so this is like Lakshmikant. If 145 pages I have to do iteration is 3, I do 20 pages an hour, so total hours and total
There
iteration.
are formulas embedded in this Excel. Wow.
This is just division.
What did you also use VLOOKUPs and other stuff in this?
No, I don't
No?
think we need that.
Didn't go
We
that
can-
crazy?
No.
Okay.
You're making me sound like very crazy. And
No, we
then,
do that stuff. No, we do that stuff. And
Oh.
we kind of make one key because that's what consultants are trained to do. So I was doing similar thing in US.
Yeah.
And like I'll show you what we do. Like there's
Sure. I was reinventing the wheel. I should have come here.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at this. So this is what we did. So this is the quality K, I think Lakshmikant ke stuff, right? And we went batshit crazy over here when we started bringing in columns and putting them into this. Yeah, I think comparing constitutions across.
This is way more planned. I think it makes it easier.
Yeah, and we did this year itself, early Jan.
Oh.
We sat with the rankers, mostly engineers, and we said, okay, show us your notes, and we'll take the best from each ones. And then we made these booklets across the subjects. So whenever someone talks about Excel, I just say, okay, is there something we can learn from them? And like, sure.
Yeah,
But we'll share this with you if it helps.
Yeah, definitely.
And we did this for polity, we did this for history, IR, and the whole prelims shebang. But awesome. So this is lovely because this way you prepare and you are slightly more objective than normal in the preparation because it's such a subjective and mother of all exam. You can easily get lost. Some of those rabbit holes are good because they get to tell you more about India, which otherwise you won't witness. But now you have a whole lot of time to read books and know. By the way, during this time of preparation, did you read anything apart from UPSC course books?
I got some time after my mains. So I started with 21 lessons for 21st century. It was a pretty interesting day. I couldn't complete it, but I really hope to take on more reading because I really enjoy. I've been reading more fiction books, but now I'm transitioning towards non-fiction. So
Great.
I really like.
You're in luck. So for Roy and Reels, I gift books to the rankers.
Oh, wow. I love this.
Yeah. So just drop in your address. And it's a note for everyone who has gotten a rank and would love to chat with me over here. Just come and drop in, and I pick up choices books and I send it to your home. So tell me the genres which you want to study, read about, and I'll pick few from my library and we'll send some of them. Okay.
Definitely.
Awesome. So we got to know about your early childhood impressions, IIT days, consulting days, your UPSC journey. There are few questions that we generally ask every ranker. Is that during this time of preparation, and I'm assuming that you have a really good, strong family system. So इतना ज़्यादा highs and lows वैसे नहीं आए होंगे. There would be people to be on your back. But कभी-कभी ऐसा लगा कि this journey gets too lonely and sometimes you start questioning yourself and your decisions of leaving a job. And be very realistic because you just can't go back to job. You can, but then it won't be at the same level and your peers are doing something else. Did all of these thoughts and more cross your mind?
A lot of it. I had to constantly keep myself away from Instagram or any kind of social media because a lot of FOMO creeps in. Because this is the period that we're given that we're completely at a halt, and I used to question myself a lot that I could be doing this, or usually when the recruitment teams hire out, they send out hiring mails, and then you see lucrative packages, and you feel that, oh my, like, are we supposed to be doing this? And then you definitely see that it takes more than 1, 2, 3 years to get through this exam. And these are your prime youth time where you're supposed to enjoy and then earn and then spend on yourself. So yes, these questions did cross my mind a lot. And I used to discuss this a lot with my brother, who's 8 years older to me. And he used to tell me that for all the things that you think that you're missing out, there's a lot of time after that. Like even after 30, you can do a lot of these things. And
spoken like a true elder brother.
Yes. So he used to tell me that this is the highest risk, highest reward path. and you have nothing to lose. If you, like, I had gone in with the mindset that I'll give 2 years to this preparation, so you have nothing to lose. You can come back, you can work a little bit, and then you can get back to the same position. So why not go for a higher reward? So that stuck to me, and then I stopped questioning myself. Like, let's just give it 2 years. Let's just give what it demands and just enjoy the process, so that we are not at the, like, I do not want to regret at the age of 40 that I wanted to do this exam and I could not do it because I was intimidated. So that's what I did not want. So this is how I coped up with it.
Okay, makes sense. And interestingly, in all this journey and all these dialogues with brother and other folks, startups never crossed your mind?
That is also a higher risk, higher reward. But I feel that startups is not my cup of tea, because I feel very uncertain and too overwhelming in startup. It is a great idea for people who are very they are driven by challenges, and they're driven by that fear that you can go bankrupt any day. That is a certain challenge that I did not want. I wanted some kind of stability in my life. So that is why startups.
Okay, got it. And because you think things through this in depth, how do you look forward to life now? So you've gotten a rank, you've gotten a service, you'll come to Labasna, and you'll get to read slightly more than normal. And then what do you think lies ahead for you, if you have given a thought to it?
I've not given a thought on a very specific basis, but I have kept in a broad picture, maybe. That is to say that I do not want to become an IS. I want to work as an IS, because a lot of us miss out on the whole idea because of which we entered into the service. So this is something that I need to the intensity of preparation that we had in the preparation days is something that we need to uphold even after we achieve the rank and we are in service. So I just hope to be true to my job and each and every day, so that the big picture ultimately adds up on its own. I think I'm sounding a little too fatalistic, but
no,
that's what
I mean, that's a good I would say, idea to get into service with, and then also have the right reality checks. Maybe speak to seniors who are in services. Have you spoken to anyone who's in service?
I have. There were a few mentors with which I've spoken, but that was basically for the preparation. What is the actual work? That is something I need to delve into. How they are planning, how they are strategizing.
Because you guys are going to come right in the space of reality pretty soon, right? You'll see the things as they are, rather than what they theorize to be. And I think that will define the next path, which is anything that you want to do where you can maximize your impact. You would follow that, and that's good. That's a great headspace to be in. Awesome, Kriti. This has been such a lovely chat. I know you cracked it in your first year, so not much of those इधर उधर के ruffles and highs and lows of other kind. अभी 2-3 टाइम बाद कोई आता है तो पूरी कहानी होती है. The first Roy I was with Kaptan Ghanshyam Gautam, who's IPS, and his story is like legendary in this making. But I think what we'll do is we'll love to have you host you as an academic webinar as a consultant. How did you just excelled the way to the rank, right? We'll kind of have something on that note, because it would be interesting to see how these things can not just be used for obvious objective self-hello thing, but also as a regular feedback. And you kind of see a sense of compounding also. So that's, I mean, there's so many dimensions which, if it's told rightly to the students, Google Sheets will be use kar sakta hai, and they should, right? At your disposal. We also use the same Google Sheets for the mentoring purposes. Cool. So we'll try to figure out a time with you. And we'll get that. Happy to have this chat finally. It was about time.
It was quite interesting. Thank you so much, sir, for having me here.
Yeah, great. Awesome. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon.
Definitely. Have a good day, sir.